Go.
Welcome to the shed, where Miss Dream always has a story.
I'm Dreme, a black woman with many beautiful interconnecting identities. A few I will name at this moment as we get started on this podcast journey together. A Bostonian, born and raised in the inner city, Dorchester and Roxbury neighborhoods, to a teenage single mother who has my whole heart. An educator, I've been working with youth and children since my teenage years, and formally, I have been teaching almost a decade now. That's wild to think about. An entrepreneur, I am the founder of The Chair, a black and brown centered tech platform dedicated to supporting people on their hair journey, where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a more joyous experience. I have a workable site. My prototype, it took me 2 years to build, and now I'm on this adventure that you're currently on with me. My goal for this podcast is to share stories, black stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and hair stories. I want you to leave each episode with the opportunity to gain new insight, just a glimpse into my world or the worlds that are featured on my podcasts, a little chuckle during your day or night, possibly a little anger to encourage you to advocate for justice, and hope to continue learning and dreaming. So come in and listen to the beautiful voices in the chair as they share their stories, starting with me.
Where we share stories in the chat.
Hello, everyone. This is Periana Staggers. Periana, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, my name is Periana. I am a wife, a mama, an educator, and I wear so many more hats, but we'll leave it right there for now.
So, Periana and I met in college. She's originally from Chicago.
Yes, yes.
And when we met, she was a commuter. And I had a roommate, Issa, who would just have, casual people just hanging out. I would walk in and there would be new people in the room. So it was like a normal habit. And then one day, Periana didn't leave.
Oh, good time.
Yeah. And so she turned from a commuter to my roommate my freshman year.
And then the rest is history.
So, Periana, did you always think you would go into education?
Yes and no. I had periods of time where I thought, okay, I really want to teach. I definitely thought it would look differently for me, though. So I originally thought I want to teach the really young kiddos, teach at the primary level, but quickly realized that was not it. And then went through a few iterations of what I wanted to do, whether it was, being an art therapist and healing people through the arts and all of this jazz. But I never really thought that it would be higher education for me. But I definitely think my college experience certainly shaped that and influenced me going into higher education.
Do you have a memory in college that you feel was a moment where you're like, yes, higher education is my world? Was there a professor or a class that told you this is what you wanted to do?
110%. Dr. Judy Dozier, shout out to her. She was just amazing all around. African American studies professor, English professor, but she was so much more than that. Like, she was family. Like, she really poured into her students, really looked out for us. Whenever I was struggling, I knew I could go to her whenever I just wanted to have an intellectual conversation or just a conversation about hair or what was going on in the media at the time, bring that to her. And she was such a source of support for me. And I think she definitely helped me make it through, and not just me, so many others I think would say exactly the same thing. But I think there while she was the primary influence, I think there were certainly others in that space. I'm just thinking about I can't say all of the other Black professors because there were very many, but, some of the other Black professors and Black staff members or, other staff members of color who really got it. And they were there to, again, really support us, pour into us. They were us at one point, probably at predominantly white colleges and universities, institutions of higher education. And they struggled. Some of them didn't have that support and they wanted to be that support for us. And then I think it was the same sort of deal for me. I know I made it through because of X, Y, and Z, and I want to be that for students to come.
And so in higher ed, you've worked in admissions, you've worked in financial aid, you've worked in recruiting, you've worked in res life, you've
no area that exists, I've probably worked in it.
in higher ed. And I think it's amazing when I meet educators of all types who've just touched every aspect of their world in higher ed. Do you have a memory with a student that you think about often from working in higher ed?
Yes. So one of my favorite student memories actually is a student, we'll call him Byron. He was really invested he was a business major, hadn't had any work experience or anything of that sort. And, he would always drop in by my office, Miss Staggers. And oh my gosh, I hated being called Miss Staggers. I was like, I'm not old. Don't call me Miss Staggers. But he would always drop in, hey, Miss Staggers, how you doing? We would chop it up and connect in XYZ. And this was when I was working in the experiential learning realm. And I, of course, always pushing him and all my kids, honestly. But all right, what are we doing for the summer? Like, we got to have a plan. And then it just so happened that the company that my husband was working for at the time, they had this business fellowship type program for underrepresented students. And I was like, okay, I really need him to get this. So I'm literally doing everything in my power to get this boy. And mind you, he was great. He was charismatic. He could do all the things, but he was that type of student that needed that extra push. It was just really difficult trying to find that balance of, okay, I need to push him because I can't want this more for him than he wants this for himself. I know he really wants this deep down and I want this for him. So, but I don't want to enable him and create a little lazy human being because that's not productive at all either. So working with the other Black folks on campus because, there were, I think, like 6 of us and we would have our secret Black meetings like in one of the office, but we're literally like getting together. All right, like, did you touch base with Greg on, did he do his resume? Did he do this? Did X, Y, and Z? But then he's done, everything that he needs to do. And he ends up getting accepted into this program.
Nice.
And they were going to cover everything from the residential piece, like, because he would have to fly out to California. They were going to cover flights, lodging, the whole shebang. But then there was this other piece that we're like, we can't send the boy out here with no money. So we're literally scrambling. You make sure he got this. You make sure he got some presentable, like, professional type clothing. And just in that moment, for me, I think it was, I love my babies. But the fact that, like, we were all able to come together with that shared purpose and it, working out in the end. And he's doing really well for himself now. And his business professor always circles back with me every now and again. Like, that fellowship really propelled Byron to be successful. And he touches base every now and again on LinkedIn. And I just think it's lovely. But, there are so many of those stories. Recruiting, my focus when at Drexel was the diversity type recruitments at the grad level, just going to a lot of those events and seeing the hard work that our students are pouring into and someone being able to really like resonate with that. It was just really impactful.
Do you see yourself in every student that you work with?
Absolutely. I think at some level, absolutely. Well, it may not be a one-to-one correlation, and we may not be exactly the same, but at the end of the day, our melanated skin certainly bonds us through some sort of shared experience. And I do see myself, I see that, young 18, 19, 20-year old out there just trying to like figure it out, figure herself out, figure her life out, and in all of these white spaces. So I think me being literally considering myself like a space on a college campus, a safe space for my students to come and vent and just be, even, having hair conversations with some of my students, was a norm. And they knew I had an open door policy. Like, you want to come in and you want to chop it up about whatever, 110%. Sorry, long winded answer. Yes.
No, it's a perfect answer.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hairboards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you. No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show. When you say creating these spaces, I always go back to thinking about our time in college where it was because of you that the AFAM or African American Studies minor turned into a major.
Oh, my baby, my forever baby. Yes, I think about that often.
So please share with the class how this started, because, I was just in the room and you said the thought and I said, absolutely, I'm going to help, but please share.
Yes, it literally all started with a conversation with Dr. Dozier. I was a minor at the time because that is all we had then. And my wheels are turning, and I'm like, well, we have an Asian American Studies major, Salon. We have a Latin type like studies program. Have women and gender studies. And here we are with our little baby minor. No one thinks this is an issue, even for optics. The African American Studies minor, as it was then, really just opened my eyes to so many things. And I don't know, I just felt so empowered every time I left one of those classes, or, Those were the classes where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do that paper. I want to do that presentation because of the connection to it. And because I was learning so many things that I probably should have learned in high school and grade school, but that's a conversation for another day. But it was so important for me to have that representation, to have it so that we could learn about our history, our contributions to society, because there are many, but that is often looked over. So seeing all of those other programs as actual departments or majors, it kind of felt like a slap in the face that we did not have this. And after talking with Dr. Dozier, she let me know that I wasn't the first to bring this up. This had been something that students had been bringing up for years. So the question remains, why? So from then, knowing that it had been something that had been brought up, what do we do next? How do we move it forward? What are the barriers in the way? So in chatting it up with her and other students alumni who had graduated however many years ago, learning that it was a financial thing. It was okay. These other programs were able to get started because someone donated whatever money and they were able to start it. Well, you know what? It's time for the school to put their money where their mouth is, because you're preaching all diversity and inclusion and X, Y, and Z. Let's stand on that. And I think from there, that is where it went. I literally remember chatting with Dr. Dozier, making sure our talking points were on par, got everybody together. All right, we're going to the president's office. He accepts us. We literally went to this man's office, pitched this idea, and from there, a baby was born. And it's flourishing. And I have talked with several alumni since who, have majored in that. And every time I hear it, I'm just like, wow, we did that. I wish I could, turn back the hands of times and go back and get my major. But,
it was a magical moment.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I hate that we did not capture that moment, a picture, something. We know. For those who were there, we know.
Yeah, and we can tell the story and capture it. Because I remember the conversations, because, she's not saying that she was the president of United Black Association at the time. So we were able to have this conversation with as many Black people and allies all at once. And then on top of that, after talking with the president, he was like, okay, here are all the avenues that you need to convince. It wasn't just president and Professor Dozier, right? We had to get other professors on board.
Lots of moving parts. And for those who know how higher education works, it moves very slowly.
We had to get allies in so many different areas to highlight the intensity, the fact that this wasn't a major and it had to be a conversation. Oh, okay. But then it was like, okay, why is this not a major? But I think it's pretty magical that when Professor Dozier said to you, you're not the first, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to put my foot down here and really do something.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen that with our history quite often. We literally have to put something out there and literally stand on it until it happens.
Well, thank you, Periana, for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I, of course, would love your continued support. Let me know what you think of this episode by doing all the things. Subscribe, comment, and come back next week, every week. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. Or if you are like me, enjoy that moonlight and that one star under all your city lights. Love you. Talk to you later.
The chair.
I gotta wait? How long I gotta wait for it press record?
Go.
We support her. Shit.
Do your.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story. Where we share